going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel here. Just wanted to give you an update and kind of a brief review or initial impression on these Tamer towing mud flaps that I have just recently picked up. Using them a couple times so far. Like I said, so they're meant for rocks and debris to kind of shield whatever you're towing, whether it's a UTV or camper, boat, that kind of thing. So this has got the add-on. You can see the dual exhaust ports. Those don't come standard, at least with the standard kit. It's an add-on accessory from Tamers that you can get if you have a dual exhaust, that you can add those on. So yeah, just wanted to give you a review. This is the 2-inch receiver. So they make a 2.5 and a 3-inch as well for the bigger trucks. This is for a half-ton or most half-tons. But yeah, anyway, so the review, I'd like to say that it's fairly easy to install. I'm not going to get in depth on that. You can see that's already put together. Went together very smoothly and quickly. I think the biggest time factor is measuring and kind of understanding where you want them to actually place or sit. Not only, I guess, in your width here, but also your height here too. So the width is very versatile. That's kind of the one reason why I went with this on reading some online reviews, was how versatile and adjustable it is. Not only with your width here on both sides, but your height as well. So you can actually trim these mud flaps if you want. But then you can also adjust the height here up and down if you loosen up these bolts. So you can actually adjust the height that way, and it'll bring it further or closer to the bumper of your vehicle. So it kind of swings back and forth, if you will. I have them straight up vertical. That's kind of like the highest point for height. But one thing to notice, I guess, from like an install before you're putting everything together is, if you can look on the back here, you can see that it's got these little 1-inch notches here. So that's very important when you're putting this together, I would say. Is this is increments for kind of stenciling for your cuts that you can make. So you can actually trim these mud flaps, and actually their instructions, they recommend you do so. Trimming them when your vehicle is fully loaded down. So take the trailer or camper or whatever you're using these for towing, and actually hook it up to your vehicle so your truck squats, you know, whether it's 1 inch or 2 inches or whatever, it'll squat a little bit with your suspension loading from the weight, and then take your measurements there. Now, I think Tamers in their instructions says you want to have 3 to 4 inches of clearance from the bottom of the flap to the ground when your truck is fully loaded. So that's the actual tongue weight on there. If you're towing multiple things or various things, obviously take your heaviest thing that you're towing, and get your measurement from there. So you're guaranteed not to have any issues with the bottom of the flaps here hitting the ground when you're towing. That probably, from what I've read, actually is more harm than good, actually, where it actually jeopardizes the function of what these are intended to do. So yeah, so my reviews, they've been great so far. They're very durable. They're very good material, from the flaps to the metal material. I guess the only thing I would be mindful of or concerned of would be in the northern climates where there's salt, is some of this powder coated steel. And I guess we'll just see, time will tell on that, if that gets corroded or not. But so far so good. And they do what they're intended to do. So the reason I went with this brand over the various other ones was the adjustability was the biggest thing. So both the width, they're very adjustable, so you can set them up however you want, and as well as the height too. So even after you get them trimmed, you can kind of adjust these as needed to accommodate what you're towing. But I would cut them or trim them and then set them up for your worst case scenario, I guess, if that's, or whatever you tow most, probably is the best way to do it. But yeah, that's kind of what I went with. This was a lot of good reviews online, and mostly the versatility. But the material seems to be very good as well. One other key feature that kind of sold me too was these little lock-in brackets on the bottom corners here. So there's hex nuts on both sides here that you can fasten it to your receiver hitch here. And that makes it really sturdy where it's not gonna sway or anything. That's kind of one of the other reviews on some of the other brands that I was reading through. Had issues with that actually. So it's, you know, kind of teeter-tottering or swaying left to right. Some to the extremity where it actually hit your truck's bumper and cause a lot of rubbing or scratching and that sort of thing, which is not something I wanted. So Yeah, a few considerations when you're looking through these if you're interested in getting one. Like I said, my truck has the dual exhaust straight out the back on both sides, so that was an add-on accessory, which is very easy to add. It comes with a little circle cutout template that you kind of just take your measurements of where your exhaust is, kind of relative to the middle of your receiver here. So figure that out on both sides, and you can kind of measure the height from the ground or the bumper or whatever you want. Position them, and then I just cut them out with a box cutter. Same thing with trimming the flaps too. It's a really dense, thick rubber, which is good, robust quality, but with those notches on the back, like I showed previously, it's pretty easy to cut from there too. So I just took a 2x4 as a straight edge basically to assist with making sure I was cutting it evenly. So yeah, if you're in the market for some towing mud flaps, I highly recommend you check the Rock Tamer brand out. It's so far so good. Seems to be very good quality, good materials, and very sturdy too. That was kind of the biggest thing when trailering. So I didn't want one that was going to be rocking back and forth and bouncing all over the place and that sort of thing. So wanted it to be durable and sturdy, and actually function as it should. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like the videos. I'll have some more coming up here shortly. Thanks.